Welcome to the program. I'm Mark Imperial. This segment's being brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done and published to educate consumers, grow their businesses, and to leave a legacy. I'm doing a series of spotlights on remarkable business intermediaries from across the country. Joining me on this segment is Lisa Riley. She's the principal and M&A advisor at Delta Business Advisors of Scottsdale, Arizona. Lisa, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having us, Mark.
Lisa, tell us a little bit about your work and tell us specifically what are the types of clients that you specialize in helping there?
Okay. Well, like most business brokers and intermediaries, we focus on clients who have cash flow. So we focus on looking at people's financials, taking a look at them and providing a complimentary, most probable sales price analysis for those that are selling at the Main Street or lower M&A level, and appraisals for those that are selling at the M&A level. So we do the whole gamut from consulting, figuring out where you are. Are you able to sell now for what you want? Is it time for you to sell now? Are you personally ready to sell? Can you take that identity off your hat? So we look at the full gamut of reasons and why.
There are a lot of questions out there. And in fact, starting and running and growing a business is a full-time job. How prepared are business owners when it comes time to selling their business? What is the biggest thing on their mind when you hear from them? What are they thinking?
Well, there are three really major reasons people come to us, and I'll call these the positive reasons. They're ready to retire, they're just ready to make a change, or they've gotten something else that they want to do. Those are three positive. The dastardly D's are the other reasons people come to us: divorce, disaster, death, or partnership dissolution. Those are not as fun. But regardless of how they come, I would say only about 1 out of 10 has actually thought about exiting their business or put a plan in place for more than, let's say, a year. Most, over 70%, have not even thought about it until they contact us. And they're ready, or circumstances force them to be ready at that time. And that's the way, on those bad reasons, they're probably not going to get what they want or need out of the sale of their company. On the positive reasons, they still have time to work and get what they need. But yes, business owners notoriously are not ready to sell because they're working on the day-to-day. They're working on growing their business. They're working on keeping it going. And if they're coming to us when it's on a downturn, buyers see that too, and they've lost the value. Buyers want to buy businesses that are going good, just like you want to keep your business when it's going good.
So if we wanted to help business owners be prepared so they're not so much behind the 8 ball or caught off guard, how far in advance should they start planning and preparing to sell their business?
We always say 3 to 5 years is ideal if you haven't started since day one when you started your company. Few people have, but there are some. But 3 to 5 years, and what you do in that time, you take those month-long vacations and let your employees handle the everyday, day-to-day. You have your financials, shall we say, cleaned up. Larger the company, audited financials are good. There may be quality of earnings that are stated, but what that means is 3 to 5 years, you really start working out all those perks. If you take a business trip and decide to take your family and stay an extra 2 weeks, those are things that begin to come out of your business financials, and those are things that you will pay more taxes in the short term, but that will increase the value of your business, could be 2 to 7 times. So if you're putting 100,000 into that perks, just think of what you're leaving on the table by taking those. And the more you bury them, the harder they are to come out.
Let's talk about the market a little bit, especially today. We're coming out of a pandemic. People are wondering, is it really a good time to sell a business or even buy one today? You've got the great resignation. People want to go into business for themselves. So I'd imagine there's a lot more buyers in the marketplace. Uh, are there a lot of sellers too? And is this the right time?
The answer is it depends. It depends on the industry. It depends on the type of business you want. It depends on your skills. Buying a business is a risk. Selling a business is a risk. Life is a risk. But for example, accounting, bookkeeping, so on. Right now, it's a buyer's market. We have a large number of baby boomers who are ready to retire. Less than 3 years ago, it was a seller's market. We were getting top dollar for accounting firms. Now there are more people wanting to sell in certain areas. I'm talking about Arizona here for specifically, that it has become a buyer's market in that area. It is a seller's market in most all other manufacturing, construction, anything that's booming. Sellers, with good books and records, with good management in place, with good employees, with good customers, it's a seller's market.
There's a real high statistic out there that says that 80% of businesses that go on the market end up not selling. Can you kind of give us a insight on what causes a business not to sell or become unsellable? What happens?
The main one is the financials don't support what's being purported, or the price, the asking price, or the price that a buyer is willing to pay is not what a seller is willing to accept. And there are lots of reasons for this. One, somebody's got in their head what their valuation of the company is, and it might be an accurate valuation, but it might not be for that type of buyer. For example, there are lots of reasons you would do a valuation. If you're getting a divorce, partnership disillusionment, adding on a partner, all these things, or selling a business to a third party that's unrelated, or selling a business internally. The value of your business is going to differ dramatically. If you're selling to that third party, the value will depend. Is it a financial buyer? Is it a strategic buyer? Is it a competitor? Is it an individual? Can they get an SBA loan for those businesses that are less than $5 million in sales price? So all of those things go in to what will be done. Secondly, the financials have to make sense. And that means that EBITDA, earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization, is got to be clear and can be adjusted, but can't have all those adjustments we were discussing earlier, like those added family trips in there. Sooner or later, a buyer says, no, I'm just excluding it. So there are those reasons. Secondly, is the owner is the business, or is the key person whom all decisions are made through. If all decisions are made through the owner, then the buyer will lose the key person and therefore maybe the business. And the third reason is there might be a concentration. And we look at anything down to about 10%. 25% is really getting hard of one customer. If your company is selling to Costco and they have become 90% of your revenue stream, that's hard for a buyer to swallow. Because
Really
what
terrific
happens
insights.
when that goes away?
Lisa, what inspired you to become a business intermediary and help people value their business and help sell their businesses? How did you get started in the field?
The short 20-second answer is I'm a sociologist by trade. I taught for 10 years at a university. And when I came to Arizona, we ended up building our own house, and I was the general contractor. To help others, I could either get my general contractor's license or my real estate license. In Arizona, you have to be a licensed real estate agent or broker to sell businesses. So I got my real estate license with the intent of fixing up houses for my friends and then flipping them if they wanted to, or having them live in there. Well, life changed. I found out you could do this 12 years ago. And so I have been so focused on helping business owners because I've seen both the good and the bad. And that 80% stat you said, most of it is because bad advice, bad records, or full owner operated business. Nobody wants to buy a job per se for less than they would working for somebody else.
And from this conversation, I can tell that selling a business is a full-time job. There's a lot involved in it, and they certainly can use their help while they focus on growing and running their businesses. So, Lisa, for folks listening who realize they need to get their ducks in order if they're considering selling today, if they'd like to speak with you, how do they find you, connect with you, and learn more?
You can go to our website at deltabusinessadvisors.com or email me at lisa@deltabusinessadvisors.com or call 480-686-9031.
Lisa, this has been terrific. Great insights. I really appreciate you taking the time to share with my audience today, and I wish you continued success for you and for all of your clients.
Likewise, Mark, thank you for having me, and thank you for doing this. I wish we could touch every business owner from day one.
That was Lisa Riley, the principal and M&A advisor with Delta Business Advisors of Scottsdale, Arizona. And this segment's been brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done and published so they can educate consumers, grow their practices, and leave a legacy. That's all for now. I'm Mark Imperial, and thanks for joining me.